Welcome to another episode of Start Making Sense. I am Jehnny Beth, and for an hour, we're going to try to make sense of the world together in music. Start Making Sense is the radio show for music lovers who like to listen to good music and hear from the people who make it. So I have no doubt today that you will enjoy my guest. Singer-songwriter born in Canada, released his third full-length album in May this year called This Old Dog. His name is DeMarco. Listening to DeMarco's record is like entering his bedroom. Memories are everywhere. Songs deal with subjects sometimes intimate, sometimes mundane, and those who know a little bit about his life and his difficult relationship with his father, who was not around when he grew up, get an extra layer of meaning. What makes the listening of This Old Dog even more touching is the overall sensation of warmth that emanates from it. The same impression you get when speaking with him, honestly. I guess it's just the way he is. So I spent an hour on the phone talking about life, love and music, making sense of the world in the company of DeMarco, only on Beats One, of course. Hey, this is Jehnny Beth, and today we're talking with DeMarco, and I'm going to try to call him and see if he picks up.
Hello?
Hello, that was a quick answer. You were ready.
I was diddling around on Instagram or something, but yeah, gotcha, no problem. Here we are.
How are you today? Where are you? Are you on tour or at home at the moment?
No, I'm at my house in LA. We're going on tour next week for a while, but we've been here I've been here for a while. My band was just here, did the FYF festival this weekend, so.
Oh, yeah.
Today I feel all right. Yesterday was full-blown recovery, but today I'm not feeling that. I kind of smell like I had really bad pizza for dinner last night, so now I kind of smell like it. Feel a little bit gross, to tell you.
Is it gone now, the pizza, or is it still living in your body?
It's in there. Also, I only had a couple slices, and the rest I was like, I can't do it. It was some kind of weird. There was no tomato sauce on it. I don't know. It was a big mistake. It was a huge mistake.
Is there an elephant dying behind you?
Yeah, it's somebody doing some chainsaw action. Oh, now they've stopped. If it starts up again, I'll take a walk.
So, there's a new album, This Old Dog, and I've listened to it a lot. What breed of dog, is the dog in question?
Human being, I think, It's me, I suppose. I'm not that old, but here comes the elephant again. Let me just... God damn. No, yeah, I would think I'm using it more in like some kind of personified or allegorical, metaphorical, something fancy, I don't know. Dirty old dog, But as far as I can tell, that song's about me. But if it had to be a breed, it'd probably be... I was looking at dogs. I would love to have a dog, but I don't know if I'll ever have one because I go on tour so much. But maybe a bloodhound or something droopy. I found those really very cute.
And who did the artwork? You did it?
I drew it.
You always used pictures of yourself, and it's the first time it's not a picture of you.
Yeah, I was going to do a picture of me, and then I was kind of like, you know what? I've done this a billion times. And it's kind of maybe like a bit of a throwback to before I was doing like DeMarco, my other project before. It was usually, I would draw stuff, so it kind of felt interesting to go back that way. I also had another photo that I was trying to use for the cover. It was this like dirty Mickey Mouse doll attached to the back of a stock truck in front of a deli in New York. I really liked the photo. I felt like it worked, but the label was like, well, you want Disney to sue us? Like, okay, let's use this. So that didn't work out. But yeah, I'm happy with the cover. It's cute, Threw in a couple tidbits.
There's some weird birds in there. And the snake and
birds. Got my bandmates on there. Got a whole bunch of, there's no track list on the back, but all the track listing is just drawn into the cover. I like that.
Oh, that's good. Do you have any movie crush at the moment?
A movie crush?
Yeah. Like male or female?
Like an actor?
Yeah.
I've had one for a while. Maybe it's waning a little bit now, but I really think that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is like the cutest thing that I've ever seen. He's so big. Like, I can't imagine what it would feel like to hug him. It'd be like really crazy.
Okay, we should put the word out there then for a hug.
That's the thing. Here's the thing is I tried for a while because I lived in this place in New York where one of my roommates is a huge pro wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So we set up our whole coffee station as an homage to Dwayne, and we had a big doll of him there, and we made a T-shirt, and I did this Instagram post. And nothing. I didn't hear
Nothing
anything.
happened.
And then my girlfriend Kira wears a rock shirt one day and like posts about it. And he comments on her photo. Comments like, love you, babe, or something. I was like, what? And she didn't even notice. I was the one that noticed, and I like freaked out. And I was like, Kira, look at this. Like, that's The Rock, you know? And then, it's a little heartbreaking for me, but I'm glad that, he noticed one of us. It's all good, kind of.
Yeah, he prefers your girlfriend, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Dwayne. Oh, well.
You're listening to Start Making Sense, my dear music lovers. I am Jehnny Beth, and now back to my conversation with Mac DeMarco. On the record, in addition to playing every instrument, you produced, you engineer the whole record. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. I mean, I had my friend Shags came and kind of helped me clean the mix up a little bit. He's got a little more experience than I do, but for the most part, yeah, it was just...
You're the main guy.
I mean, yeah, it's what I always do, though. I think I'm just a little bit nervous to work with outside influence, I guess, but it's, very kind of private thing for me, so...
Yeah, I get
that's
it.
the way I do it.
And tell me a little bit more about your day, a day in the life of Mac DeMarco. When you're writing and recording, what's your day like? Is it a complete mess? Are you really organized? I'm really curious.
It's kind of like a cycle. So it's like, when I start, it'll be organized. There won't be cables everywhere and I'll start going at it. And I think nowadays more than before, I mean, I have like more of a dedicated space than like a corner of the bedroom now. So it's like, I can leave things set up in a way where, but it's still after I've gone at it for a couple of days, it's just an absolute, mess in there. And I never put pants on or a t-shirt usually. It's just like, wake up and then do it till the middle of the night, and then not very glamorous. Pizza, some. What I did have, we're finishing mixing the record on Christmas this year, and I had Fat Burger for Christmas dinner, which is kind of gross, but
it's my birthday.
I'm over holidays and Christmas, really.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that you probably got ousted on the presents when you were younger, but there you go. I'm sharing a B-Day with your boy JC. There you go, no problem.
For me, listening to the record, I really love the record.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's true, really. Two of my favorite songs are, maybe it would be surprising for you, I don't know, but they are On the Level and Moonlight on the River, which are towards the end of the record. I mean, On the Level is different from the others in terms of sound.
Yeah.
But I feel it carries a similar theme from My Old Man here about the father and son relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, can you tell me a little bit more about this song, for instance?
On the Level?
Yeah.
To me, it kind of feels like a sister song to a song that I put out on an album a couple of years ago called Chamber of Reflection. It's got like similar arrangement. There's a couple, keyboards that sound similar on it. On the Level is a Masonic term. I think it's like supposed to, it has something to do with like weighing someone's character or something, or, making sure that they're with the program, like that kind of thing. So the Chamber of Reflection, that's also a Masonic ritual that they do. And I was kind of looking at that kind of in like, maybe like anthropological. I was studying in a way where it's like, it felt like what they do at the chamber, it felt very similar to what I was making with the album at the time. And the idea is like you go in to this room and you're supposed to mull over or, think about your existence in your life. You come to terms with everything that has happened thus far. And then when you leave this chamber, you're born again, like born a new person, So it felt like, okay, well, that's what I'm doing with this. I've been in my bedroom for like, a month and a half and I haven't seen anybody. And then when I come out, like, new record, new guy, But this time around, I mean, it's similar. But I think, this album does have a lot to do with my family, I think, more than I've done before. And I have Masons in my family, so I think it's like, it's looking at it kind of more in a personal reflection, I think. But yes, still kind of keep it spooky and culty and, Freemasons, oh dear. So, something like that.
What's your biggest vice apart from cigarettes?
Probably alcohol. A lot of people think I smoke weed. I don't smoke weed. I've never really smoked weed. And as far as other drugs go, I don't get me wrong. There's been, times of being on tour where it's like, woohoo. But I mean, the past couple of years, I really haven't been messing around with any of that stuff. But I mean, there are times when I drink a lot, like a lot, which is maybe.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I can get, even this weekend, I'll tell you, holy Moses.
What happened this weekend? What did you do?
Well, it's funny because we played this festival FYF 5 years in a row. So they were kind of like, are you going to come all weekend? I was like, sure. And they were like, do you want a green room all weekend? And I was like, yes, they're friends of ours. So they hooked it up and I just had too much access to too many bottles of Jameson or whatever. Nothing crazy really happened, but I just had too much to drink. That's the bottom line. But I did have a great time. It's all our good music too.
So the album starts with you looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing that you're seeing more of your old man in yourself. And the closing track is Watching Him Fade Away, where it's very raw and direct, the emotion of this song. And it's kind of exposing uncomfortable feelings, I guess, into the wide open, but very personal things as well. It's funny because your lyrics are never really prescriptive, It's almost like you're standing in wonder about your own feelings.
Yeah. With these songs, I wasn't writing them to put them on an album or even to show anybody. A lot of the songs I wrote in New York last year, like early last year, and just had them. And it felt good to write them, and it felt good to listen back to them. It also felt kind of weird. But that was like the beginning of all that, feeling for me. So it was kind of like, okay, well, now I have these, and that's one thing, But I got to a point where I was like, okay, I got to put a record out. And I was like, I like these songs. So making that decision and kind of realizing like, okay, I'm going to show these to people. I don't know if I really thought about it that much before I went ahead and did it. But it is different because before, I'm usually sitting down. I'm like, I'm going to make a record. I'm going to show this to people. There's a certain filter that comes into play, or like a certain vagueness that I use with the lyrics or with whatever else, If I listen back to any of my music, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of it's very personal too, but
music brings a certain veil, or there's a distance by the melodies.
Especially with pop music, it's like the more vague not necessarily vague, but like the more open-ended maybe the lyrics can be, then the more people I think can relate to it. It was like therapeutic making this record and singing that way and talking that way, but at the same time you feel a little selfish sometimes, the whole ordeal is very a selfish thing, I think. I don't know, it was interesting, different style for me.
I saw a picture of you in the bath, and I was wondering if you always take your baths naked.
Bathtub?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, why would you wear your underwear in the bath? Seems crazy to me. See, here's the thing for me, ever since I was a kid, I've always felt very lonely in the washroom. I like to leave the door open, for example, when I'm doing my constitutional. I like to take a bath, invite everybody, and have the radio playing or something. My girlfriend likes to hang, and she'll hang out on the can, not doing her business, but, just to sit there. I like to relax with company, you know what I mean?
I agree. I really agree with you. I always like to pee with my door open as well.
Yeah, it's great.
And have a conversation with someone who's in the other room.
Yeah.
While you're peeing. Right. I really enjoy that.
Some people are grossed out by it. I know. I don't understand that.
I don't either. I don't understand that either. I wanted to ask you, how often do you cry? And this is a serious question, by the way. It's not one of the not serious ones.
I think more often than people would assume. It's interesting to me sometimes. I think about it sometimes, especially more recently. It's like, I think I kind of understand what I'm about and who I am and stuff like that. But then, things like the internet or how the press portray me and stuff like that. I wonder, like, people probably think I never cry and I just love slamming beers. I do love that as well, but I don't know. Certain things just get me. For example, with this record, when I first started writing it, that song Still Crazy by Paul Simon? Still Crazy After All These Years?
No, I don't.
God, it's a great song. I have a theory about it. I think he wrote it about Carrie Fisher, but to be determined, because they dated for a long time. But
okay, wow.
And I love Star Wars as well.
Yeah, me too.
There's certain pop culture moments that really get me, like that, or like for some reason every time I watch Hook with Robin Williams, I just lose it. He's like, when he's looking, his son is playing baseball with Captain Hook, and he's like, "That's my Jack." I'm like, damn it, like that is your Jack, like that. That gets me. But I don't know. You don't really talk to people that often about, how much do you cry?
I ask because men often are told that they shouldn't cry. And in the song Still Beating on your record, you say, "I cried too, you better believe it."
Yeah.
And then there's this lyric on the level when you say "stand up like a man." And it made me want to talk about being a man with you, about masculinity. Sure. Because I think men are in need of good role models, and we talk a lot about feminism, there's feminism manifestos, etc. But I feel there isn't a community for men which isn't macho or sexist or, violent. And there isn't a safe place, or it's harder to find a safe place for men to start thinking together about their role in society and how they can evolve with the society, with women, etc., and to start reflect about who they are. And I wanted to ask you, if you had role models growing up, who they were and what they taught you, you know, as a man, really.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a funny thing for me. I had a single mom growing up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
She was pretty much all I had. I think up until a few years ago, I was always kind of looking for someone to fill that role model position. You know what I'm talking about? Like, for lack of a better term, like father figure or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
And so, no, it was always kind of weird.
And you didn't find any?
I had a few, you know, growing up, some better, some worse, but like always kind of weird. You know, like when we were kids, my mom had to work a couple jobs and we had like a lot of Taiwanese and Korean and all these different students come and stay in the house. So it would turn out to be one of them for a couple of years. And then maybe I would look up to somebody in high school and kind of do that. But I think I'm finally in a position now where I'm not looking for that thing anymore to look up to. But when I was in high school and stuff, it's like most of my friends were girls, you know, and then you reach a certain point. I don't know. It's weird. It's always made me a little uncomfortable when you hang out with like the real macho dudes, especially growing up in my hometown too. I think maybe changing the subject a little bit, but it's like I grew up in like kind of like a pretty homophobic, weird, like, you know, oil town, like big muscly guys that like wanted to kill me. It's like one of the only kids that wore like tight pants in my high school, for example. So it's like ever since I've been doing, you know, kind of playing around with not exactly ambiguity or anything. I'm not trying to cop anything from anybody's vibe or whatever, but it's just like whenever that's been around where it's kind of like, oh, you little like whatever. It's like, oh yeah, what makes you so uncomfortable about it? I don't know.
You're listening to Start Making Sense, my dear music lovers. I am Jehnny Beth, and today my guest is DeMarco. And do you think of yourself as a role model when you're on stage? You see these kids in front of you, or you, I don't know, some people come to talk to you in the street, or do you see people are looking at you as an example and you're passing on something to them, you know? Yeah,
I mean, a lot of kids dress like me, which is weird. And people say like, you know, that I've inspired their guitar playing or something like that. But as far as it goes with any of that, I've always tried to keep kind of like the same mantra about it. You know, for me personally, what made me want to start making music and what made me want to play in bands was seeing other people, not like, you know, some like virtuoso, crazy, super cool music. You know, when I saw regular people making music, maybe it was scrappy, I don't know, maybe it was all right. They're just doing it. I think that the DIY mentality is like an important one, especially at my level, to kind of put across. It's like, yo, look, like I'm overweight, like I'm going bald, like I brush my teeth only once a day, like I can't really play my instrument, but like, look, I'm enjoying myself, and like you can do it too. It's really not that crazy. Like you just kind of got to do it, you know. And aside from that, too, it's like, you know, I like to meet all the kids that come to the shows, and I think just remembering that it's like I'm in a crazy position and I wouldn't be in this position or have all this luxury if it wasn't for these people that for some crazy reason have decided to support me. But, you know, you just try to be nice and try to be respectful. And I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
You seem to have a really good relationship with your fans, actually.
Yeah, they're cool.
There's also a DeMarco fan club. I went to look for it online and I saw you can subscribe to a Disciple membership.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to model it after the frequent flyer miles of Delta, which
premium membership.
Yeah.
What do you get when you get gold?
I don't even know, really. My mom actually runs the fan club for the most part.
Yeah, so that. Yeah.
So
she's really cool, your mom.
She is really cool. Yeah, she's like the coolest lady there is, pretty much. But
she seems to be very, very supportive to you.
Yeah, me and my brother both kind of wandered over into like the arts or whatever. Like my brother's a ballet dancer, but it's just like lucky things worked out because, you know, I don't know. It's cool. And then she's involved and she's an artist as well. So she's just stoked, you know, and there was never any pressure. Like, you got to go to school. She was just kind of like, do what makes you happy. But, you know, like I was saying with that mantra thing, it's like, do what you can do to try and have a good life. That's about it.
Well, that was a pleasure to speak with you, Mac. Really. It was really nice to catch up. And to see where you're at. Good luck with the seesaws and the elephants.
Yeah. Thank you.
And everything. And the coffee. Have a good bath.
Cool, thank you.
Bye-bye.